Growing up, my brother Leo was the undisputed king of the spotlight. At my 8th birthday party, he blew out my candles before I could even take a breath. When I made varsity baseball, he accidentally broke his arm that same night, so the whole house became a hospital ward for him. Leo lived by one rule: if it wasn't about him, it wasn't worth his time. When our dad's health started fading last winter, Leo was too busy with a startup in Austin. He sent generic gift baskets with pre-printed cards, but he never once picked up the phone. Dad would sit on the porch, staring at the driveway, waiting for a car that never showed up. 2 days before Dad passed, he gave me a small rusted key. He whispered, "Give this to Leo," but only when he finally learns how to listen. Dad's memorial service was last Saturday. I sent Leo the details 5 times. The dress code was casual, Dad's favorite flannel and jeans, nothing fancy, just family. The service was halfway through. I was standing at the podium, sharing the story of the old fishing boat Dad spent 20 years fixing. Suddenly, the heavy oak doors at the back of the chapel swung open. There was Leo. He wasn't in flannel. He was wearing a custom-tailored $3,000 Italian suit. He strutted down the aisle, checking his watch, making sure every single head turned to see the big shot who finally arrived. He made it all the way to the front row, expecting to see a reserved seat waiting for his grand entrance, but there was no seat. I'd purposefully left the front row completely empty, except for one thing: Dad's old, grease-stained work jacket draped over the center chair. Leo stood there, in his shiny shoes and expensive silk, looking like an idiot in a room full of grieving people in denim. The silence was deafening. He realized for the first time in 30 years that the world hadn't stopped for him. It had moved on without him. After the service, he cornered me by the car, face flushed with embarrassment. He asked, "Did Dad leave anything for me?" I looked at him, really looked at him, and felt the weight of that rusted key in my pocket. I just shook my head and said, "I don't know, Leo. I'm not sure you're even in the right room yet." Then I drove away.